Alright everybody, here we go. It is part 2 of the 50 best albums of the year, according to me. This is the Modernist Guide, and we're just gonna jump straight into it. Top 25 favorite, best, top, beloved, good fucking albums of 2021. Number 25, Vengeance by 12 Foot Ninja. Look, if you just love Faith No More or Mike Patton in general, along with a constant barrage of ever-changing styles that always include some kind of blending of metal and is very clever and manic, I just love the you never know what you're gonna get kind of feel with records like these. Number 24, Cavalcade by Black Midi. This is the dawn of a new era in prog rock, with Black Midi's modern post-punk take on classic King Crimson freestyle and progressions, and it's mixed surprisingly well with 90s adult contemporary vocals during the breaks and choruses throughout. Number 23, Ascension Codes by Cynic. This is the jazzy, soft, and complexly ethereal, graceful swan song of the prog metal legends who always kind of struggled to get a new project going, and now it looks like, for a lot of reasons, this might be it for them, and it's a great final note for their legacy and everything that they have done. Number 22, The Romance Affliction by See You Space Cowboy. This is literally everything that was good about the emo metalcore movements of 07-09, but the sonic serenading and dense blistering wall production makes it very clear that this new generation is coming out towards you full steam ahead. Number 21, Iridescent by Silent Planet. There's dense textures, immaculate production layers, and probably this just sets a standard for all metalcore bands with a specific style of screaming that just is going to raise the bar or get left behind. This probably might even impress a lot of people that don't like this style of metalcore. Number 20, Witness by Vola. This is as dense and heavy as it is just sleek and gliding. It's the complex prog metal heaviness of Animals as leaders, but with the silky, sweet, high vocals that I think a lot of people wish accompanied such a band. 19, Ethereal Blue by Spiritbox. Spiritbox is determined to pave the way for a new mix of modern millennial pop and dark R&B similar to The Weeknd, with this spastic callback to intense metalcore from the early 2010s, and they're mostly pulling it off, and I think that they're going to lead the charge for the next couple of albums. Number 18, Glow On by Turnstile. These punks are still rocking the perfect tribute love letter to Fugazi and the Refused 90s post-hardcore sound, but there's such a colorful pastel feeling in the production that makes it truly unique and an addicting listening experience that makes you go back again and again and again. Number 17, If I Can't Have Love, I Want Power by Halsey. In one dirty, gritty slice of the hand, Halsey, while produced by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, does what I think pretty much most people wanted Evanescence or Lacuna Coil to sound like or feel like for almost 20 years now, and it's strangely near effortless. Number 16, Roadrunner, New Light, New Machine by Brockhampton. This is honestly what I hope the future of mainstream rap will end up becoming. There's addicting emo hooks and choruses with very masterful production mixing from anything to alt-rock to trap to modern R&B, and of course Kanye-influenced pop rap and gospel. Number 15, Mass by the Gazette. The Gazette are just kings of Japanese nu metal for at least 20 years now, but this style is more like corn riffs with the sleekest and best focused Linkin Park style production, with way better vocals and a way heavier sound than any American nu metal band except maybe Slipknot, but it's still just so hard hitting, and this is their 10th record and they're still going super strong. Number 14, Texas by Sleigh Bells. For me, the Sleigh Bells in general, but definitely Texas, is just a logical, dense, heavy evolution conclusion of most girl rock, mixing different glimpses from Heart to Blondie, the Go-Go's, to whole and even poppy now, with just jaunty, sharp, super catchy and aggressive pop rock. Number 13, LP by JPEG Mafia. This is just straight up digital modern 90s boom bap with just such a masterful production and smooth, easy flow from JPEG that it makes it all just mix perfectly. There's also a shit ton of wrestling references every other song, and that's just fun kind of Easter egg stuff for me. Number 12, Hyperactive by One Morning Left. Vibrant, neon, flashy, fun 80s glam style metalcore. It's just a damn good EDM rager mixed in with infectious, crunchy hooks and riffs from the overly anthemic side of metalcore, and I can't get enough of it. This is just candy to me, but it's really well done, and they deserve more exposure. Number 11, Amazing Things by Don Brocco. I would call this nu metal influence The Prodigy, with kind of jock rock broy anthems that are full of deceptive existential party lyrics, such as like what Lana Del Rey and Charlie XCX are famous for, but you know, harder, louder, faster, and stronger. Number 10, Radical by Every Time I Die. Every time I think this band is just going to do business as usual, I realize that they have a very relenting and deceptively diverse set of songs without ever losing power, scope, or intensity. And the way Converge is getting a little softer and more experimental in other ways more and more per record, I think this band is becoming the undisputed kings of this very specific hardcore metalcore style. Number 9, Swagger and Stroll Down the Rabbit Hole by Diablo Swing Orchestra. I just can't get enough of the pure kaleidoscope menagerie of ideas. There's anything and everything here, starting with a basis of metal and then pulling in from swing to dance, southern rock, new wave, mariachi, baroque, blues, symphonica, any other kind of niche sound you could think of some kind of subgenre that really kind of puts it all together in a very kitchen sink musical carnival style record. Number 8, Scream Violence by Churches. So I'm just going to say at this point, with Robert Smith being on this record, and also it's one of the best tracks, I think it's kind of seals the deal that Churches is just the cure of the modern synth pop generation. It's vicious and emotional lyrics with amazing gothic beats and hooks for days. Number 7, Crawler by Idols. So what if Joy Division and The Clash were gothic southern rock preachers who haunted all your moral and social choices? Yeah, that's it. Listen to it. Number 6, Classics by Four Stroke Baron. This is just dark, bleak, futuristic, and echoey, dense 80s new wave laced industrial metal. It comes to mind something like augmented and off-kilter clones of Tears for Fears and Gary Newman warping soundscapes and catchy tunes from an analog future where you still store data on 100 floppy disk drives in order to pilot your space mech suit to go into Mars. Number 5, Volcanic Bird Enemy and the Voice Concerned by Lil Ugly Mane. This is the ultimate Gen X love affair, with 90s sample heavy instrumental hip hop and 90s lo-fi toned down moaning guitars and vocals of the first DIY indie rock wave, and it's just as layered as it is misanthropic, whimsical, melancholy, uplifting, and sad. Number 4, Sometimes I Might Be Introvert by Lil Sims. For me, the past 10 years or so, the best rap records have been My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye and To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar. And I would argue that what Lil Sims has created rivals that for the top 3 spot, to be mentioned in the same breath as those two. Almost, maybe with all the effort she can muster, and it's outstanding. And I can't wait to see what she can continue to do. But this is the bar setter and the unprecedented level that everyone for the next decade of rap are gonna have to be compared to, maybe. Number 3, Colors 2 by Between the Buried and Me. So I'm totally fine with admitting this is overly dramatic, overly complex, self-described as adult contemporary death metal by the band. So you got jazzy lounge sounds, post-hardcore, bouncy new wave, over-the-top prog, along with plenty of Yes and Queen worship, and that's all just one song, and then the next, and then the next, and so on and so forth. So there's ultimate bias here that I feel like these guys have basically been putting out records for me and me alone sometimes, but hopefully anybody can find something out of it because I think they have a lot to offer. Number 2, Smile with No Teeth by Genesis Owusu. Owusu is determined to be the next groundbreaking black artist superstar. For lack of a better term, he's determined to be the next Prince. He goes from 70s funk and soul to Prince worship to some Lenny Kravitz guitar to Kendrick Lamar and MC Wright rapping to Childish Gambino vocals, and then there's so many other things you can mix and add to this that he is combining so much of musical black culture together of the past like 5 to 10 years at least, and it makes it all sound like his own. And I am putting my money on Owusu being the main big artist to watch for the next decade, if not 2. Number 1, Blood Moon by Converge and Chelsea Wolfe. I just can't escape the immensity of this record. It's just amazing, dense gothic metal undertones and doomy psychedelic cult-like vocals with plenty of disastrous romantic visceral intensity peppered throughout, and there's just a drowning depth of mood and emotion and atmosphere that this is just the most enthralling record of the year. So yeah, that's it. And again, points don't really matter. I could probably switch the top 5 any day, but I loved this year. I think it had some of the best challenging and creative music, even from people who've been around for like 20-15 years, who are still pushing themselves in the genre they prefer, whether you like that genre or not. And that's pretty much for this year in music, 2021. That's the top 50. And hope you found something you loved or vindicated for something that you like. Thank you so much. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you for listening, and have a good night.